gentlemen, we have reached the bottom of the hour, and I welcome you to this evening's Wednesday evening product call put on by Visa International. My name is Mike Tenko, and I am calling in from my home office here in Akron, Ohio. And first off, I'd like to start off this evening's call by just giving you a little bit of background information on our company. Visa International was founded by a gentleman by the name of Ken Brailsford. And for those of you that do not recognize Ken by name, Ken is literally an icon in the network marketing and direct distribution industry. Throughout the history of network marketing, there have been a total of 24 companies that have reached the status of what we call a legacy company. Now, a legacy company is one that has reached $1 billion in sales, has stayed in business for more than 20 years, and is still in business today. Ken Brailsford is the only individual that has founded 2 out of these 24 companies. Now, Ken was the co-founder of Nature Sunshine and the founder of Enrich International. Visa International is certainly poised to be his 3rd legacy company. And these are exciting times with Visa International. The company is expanding rapidly around the globe. We're opening up brand new markets. We're releasing new products. We're helping tens of thousands of people with their health. Guys, ladies and gents, these products are revolutionizing the health and wellness industry. So to further discuss these products, I'm so excited for what's going to happen on this evening's call. I'm extremely honored to introduce one of the top distributors in the company, who is actually the host of this evening's call. She's a Distributor Leadership Council member, a holistic health professional, Pat Anderson. Pat has been an entrepreneur and business owner for over 20 years. She brings a huge wealth of knowledge to Visa International, and she's growing a business right around the world. Pat, I'm so pleased to have you here on the call, and welcome to you, Pat.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Great, because I am not doing the call tonight from my normal office. I'm actually in a hotel, and I'm getting ready to go on a diamond retreat in San Diego. I'm so excited. And you know what? It's just exploding in Zija land right now. Everybody is getting really involved in losing weight from gaining a few pounds over the holidays, and I'm seeing challenges over the internet and people really getting excited about what we have to offer. So I thought, tonight's call, who could I get on the call to help me? And there's no better than Dr. Ben Bowers out of Kansas. You know, Dr. Bowers has his own clinic, Bowers Wellness Center in Wichita, and he has been involved with working with us for over 4 years now, just about 5. And the wealth of knowledge that he has about our products, it's just amazing. So, Dr. Ben, welcome to the call tonight.
Good evening, Pat. Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfect.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow also.
Absolutely. And by the way, Happy New Year, everybody. It's a great year.
It's 2014 definitely is going to be a fantastic year for everyone.
Amen.
So, Dr. Ben, I know, like many of us, you got kind of forced into this business, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And I am so glad now. Of course, I can't praise my sister enough for getting me involved in it now. At the time, I didn't, but in fact, I jokingly tell people I was one of the slow, skeptical ones. It took me a couple years to come on board, even after having several hundred patients on the product.
Seconds of silence have passed. Please patch this line through to your conference call now.
Can you still hear me, Pat?
I can still hear you.
Okay, good. So the issue that for me, obviously as doctors, physicians, whatever, when we get approached by our patient base, typically we stay away from these things because there's not any science that's there. It's all hype and opium, and it's all these other factors that are out there. And yet it's coming from very well-intentional people, our patients, who in essence are trying to say, hey, doc, I want you to check this out. And that's exactly what my sister did to me. And had it not been my sister, I probably would have just scanned over it and gone on. But because it was one of my sisters, and this was a serious, significant health issue we wanted to deal with,
I felt that I at least owed her the due diligence to check it out. And the issue for me was I really expected to spend just a few minutes trying to prove whether it was vetted or not and whether there was any research behind it. And there's so many thousands of these that I have seen in my over 3 years of practice, I didn't expect there to be anything. Boy, was I shocked. I mean, so shocked that the volume of published material that's been scientifically proven, published, established, vetted, empirically researched was phenomenal. I mean, nothing like I had ever seen in all my years of practice. So immediately I knew there was something different about this tree that nobody else had. So as I began to continue to research it out and go through literally several thousand different research articles over the next few months, and I began to understand just really what this tree actually did in the course of diseases in our body. And the way I try to explain this to my patients is that when we look at any disease process, and literally the thousands and thousands, whether it's 12, 15, or 20,000 different diseases that we now know of on the human body, we know that they really come down to three commonalities. There are three things that pretty much every disease entity or problem with the body evolves around. And when I looked at what Moringa oleifera gave to us, or provided to us, by taking the Zija drink, that's where I become excited. Because the three basic things we always deal with is some form of oxidation, free radicalization, which means something's gone wrong or gone haywire, if you will, within the energy production side. And we get these things that spin off and start causing problems. We call that the rust. If you leave open unprotected metal out in the elements, what happens to it? It starts to rust. That's oxidation. If you cut an apple and leave it on the cabinet, what happens? It starts to oxidize. If you take anything with live enzymes and expose it to the air, they'll start to break down. So that's the number one thing that we see happen in the body. And when that happens, you then create what is called an inflammatory reaction, otherwise just known as inflammation. And when we look at inflammation and how that starts spinning out of control, and where that's affected in the body, then we go to look at the third thing, which is called the glycation process, or another term is just called sugar control. So when I looked at what Moringa does and how it helps all three of those major areas, all of a sudden I realized that here was a tree, a drink, that had the potential to literally undo the damage that had been going on in our body. Now, as a functional medicine physician, when I look at that as an internist, my processing the concepts that I go through, and I'm going, what's wrong with the body? Why isn't it operating or working correctly? And when I go to look at all the potential problems, it will almost always, Pat, be one of those three things. So all of a sudden, we start giving this product line to our patients, and I'm getting phenomenal results, way higher than all the other protocols that I have established over the last 30-some years. And so all of a sudden, I knew there was something very unique about this product. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't want to do the business, but I loved the product. And so all of a sudden, when I started realizing that within my practice itself, I was not going to be able to stop the business. In other words, my patients themselves start seeing the results and start referring other people into it. And then they start asking how they could get the product at a discount. So that was so natural, but abnormal to me in my practice. So here I am now, some 2,000 patients later, almost 5 years later, being involved in prescribing this to my patients. And it is phenomenal, the results that I see. I mean, some of them, I dare say, they kind of tend on the miraculous. Now, we got to be careful there and realize that we're not diagnosing, treating, or promising a cure, mitigating any disease entity or process here. All we're saying is simply this. If you give the body what it needs to build itself, repair itself, and energize itself, and you get out of the way, let the body do its natural, innate thing that God so designed and created in this body, it will do its job, right? And that's why you're going to hear all kind of testimonies around people who have invited people to hear this call. People are going to tell you the results that they themselves have received. And as we like to say here, your results may vary, but if we give your body all the necessary nutrition that is needed to thrive and revive itself, it will do its job. That's what we see in this. So back to you.
And we do. And when we first started looking at the moringa tree, you know, what really I think excited both of us is the amount of nutrients and the types of nutrients that are in this botanical. You know, over 92 nutrients. That's quite amazing for one botanical.
You know, Pat, there is nothing, and I literally mean nothing. This is one of the few times you can say nothing compares. Because of all the botanicals, the herbs, the trees, the plants, the bushes, whatever you want to look at, that are existent on planet Earth, that have been evaluated for the thousands and thousands of years that man has been examining and evaluating these things. I mean, we're talking about, we have history of over 4,000 years of evaluating botanicals and trees and bushes and all this. Nothing has that much. I mean, nothing has that much. The closest thing you're going to find is about 25 to 28 different substrates or components that have a comparison to what moringa. So let's look at this. What is in those 92 different things? First of all, we have all the vital and necessary needed vitamins, the water-soluble vitamins. They're all in there. We have all the needed, necessary, and vital fat-based vitamins. And that was one of the biggest problems I had when I first looked at this product, because I thought, you cannot mix oil and water, but God can, and that's the way He designed this to flow within that tree, so it is natural to itself. You have all of the essential proteins or amino acids that are necessary. In children, we need 9. In adults, we need 8. If you have those, and you can create the other 11 or 12, those are all in there. We have 36 different types of anti-inflammatories that shut down this inflammatory process. We have 46 different antioxidant, anti-cancerous substrates that actually fight against foreign invaders within our body. This thing has it all. And I'm going to take in 30 years and thousands of products that I've researched. And I research and write a lot. I literally go between 8 to 10,000 research articles a year as I write 25 to 30 different manuals for doctors every year. I have never come across the combination of what's in this product, in this tree. That's what's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. So let's just kind of talk about the different categories of this product line. So we have the first division is our pure nutrition, which consists of the Smart Mix and the Super Mix. What is so exciting about those two products? Because, you know, they're my favorite.
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, what I like about the Smart Mix, anybody's body, so if I jokingly say, anybody can handle what it needs or what's processed, it needs to process it. So the body is designed to use all the things that are in the Smart Mix. There's a couple other key things about the Smart Mix. I love what Dr. Plant is coming in done. And what Dr. Plant has done as a cell biologist is try to figure out how can we get it into the system better and how can we improve it. Well, there's a lot of scientific jargon that comes in there that I want to stay away from. But in essence, what this does, there's a couple things in there that actually help increase the processes of all these things to work. Those 92 things you talked about, the chicory root helps it get in there faster. It gets into the digestive tract, and it actually works with these special things that are inside there that we call obligate anaerobes, and most people call them, you know, the probiotics, right? So we have a pre and a probiotic aspect, and that's what this upregulates. And the reason that's important is those are the things that help us get into the system. I jokingly ask my patients, how do you get inside a closed system? The blood supply is a closed system, and yet we have to get nutrients into it. But you got to go through two other things to get there. You got to go through the wall of the digestive tract. You have to go between the gap between there that's called the interstitial fluid, or the gel matrix, before you get to the blood. So it's the chicory root with this inulin in there that actually helps modulate that and speed that process up. The other thing that's in there that I love is the thody root. Now, the very unique thing about the thody root is that the thody root helps on the aspect of controlling the central nervous system's ability seen people who start taking the Smart Mix after a few weeks, they start thinking, I can remember things better. My thinking is clearer. I have more cognitive abilities, in other words. And that's why we see that happening with this product. And pretty much anybody can have it. I start my grandchildren off about 30 days of age with 1 ounce of this, and we start building it up within their system. As soon as the body is ready for these nutrients, anybody's body can utilize them. So that's number one. Number two, what I love about what ZJ has done from my perspective, and I'm not speaking for the company here, but ZJ is always looking for ways to make it better for us. So, you know, I tell my patients we have this old issue, if a little is good, a lot is better, right? Well, this is another one of those cases where that's true. Because what ZJ was able to do was to take this base component of the Moringa oleifera and double it up into the super mix. So now what we're able to do is we can speed up processes, get it to happen faster, and get a bigger bang for our buck. I love that about what this company's done for that. So those two products, pretty much, I'm going to qualify it in a simple phase, pretty much anybody can take those two. Now, there may be a few occasional health issues they need to speak with their doctor about. That's a different story. As a general rule, anybody can have one of those two products.
Right. And the super mix is strictly the moringa. Yeah,
it does not have the chicory root, the footy root, is correct. Right?
Perfect.
So for those that have a little bit of a bowel issue, maybe the super mix might be a better issue at the beginning. And I like to tell my patients, I like to clean the systems up first, and sometimes that's what I do with the super mix. It is a cleansing up and reinitiating good nutritional supplement back into the body. It is giving the body what it needs. It's the fuel for the engine.
Perfect. Perfect. Then we have the energy drink.
Oh.
I know you like that one.
You know why I like that? One of the biggest complaints we doctors hear all the time. It's like, Doc, I ain't got the energy anymore. My get up and go's got up and left, and I don't know where it went. I'm looking for it, right? And the whole aspect of this, as we look at that, is we all need a little bit more energy. Well, let's look at what breaks down energy. Stress, emotional stress, life stress. So these stressors that we have in our life, they burn energy up. And the thing I try to explain to my patients is why do we eat? We eat really for one reason, and that's energy. So everything that we are to consume has to break down either into a building block or into energy. Now, it also gets a couple other factors, but those are the biggies. So if I can upregulate normal, natural energy production, would that not be a good thing? Well, yeah. So there's 3 basic ways that you can do that. And we do it the right way. In other words, you can do it through the brain, you can do it through the hormones, or you can do it through the cells. What I love about our XM line, our energy product line, and we have all kind of athletes. I mean, you name the sport, I've got them on there. I even have my 6-year-old grandson, who's right now 4th in the nation in wrestling. On it. My 9-year-old grandson is on this, and we use this as a natural energy producer. Right? Here's the whole point. When you get into the cell itself and you turn on the mitochondria, which is this little energy manufacturing plant inside every cell, and you produce the normal energy, it does not give you the crash and burn, the jolt and the jerk all over. It naturally raises it up, you get energy production, and then it naturally wings back down. And I love that about this product, all right? And it's easy to get pretty much any type of person who's dragging energy, provided there's a couple other health issues they need to talk to their doctor about. If they are on some type of mood-altering drug, if they're on some type of a heart medication, they might want to just double-check that. And why? Because when we produce more energy, the body's going to move more things through the body. That's a natural byproduct of normal energy, not what we're giving them. So we don't get all those crash and burns that everybody else gets from all those other energy drinks or other problems that are out there. Ours is natural, and it works.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got the pure nutrition, we've got the energy, but what exploded our company was the weight management system. And I know when they launched it, we were both very excited about that.
Oh, we were so excited. And here's why. In the 30-some years of me dealing with bariatric medicine, which is the study of weight and obesity and the management of that, I have seen so many thousands of things come and go that never clarify it from my perspective. In my 30-some years of being a professional in this industry and looking for this, I'm going to tell you I've never found the combination of what we have in our weight management systems. Now, what did I not call it? I didn't call it a weight loss system, right? Because when we look at the reason the body puts on weight, what we have to do is go figure out that why. And here's what we found. In all the different parameters of how the body puts things on and how it processes it, if you give the body what it wants, you reach a level what's called satiation or satiety, which means the body says, hey, I've got enough, you can stop. And when we get that level working, and then we turn on the burning mechanism to actually go into the fat cells and naturally pull that out and burn that up, and we're not trying to trick the body, we're not trying to shunt things around, we're actually making things process the way they were intended to process, wow, we get great results. And you and I know we have had patients who's several hundred pounds and they're able to keep it off. Why? We're changing the body's dynamics, the systems that are not working, so to speak. And as I said earlier, when you give the body what it needs and you get out of its way and you listen to the body and not the head, right, you're going to have a great success. One of my patients today said, Doc, I have an OCD problem. I'm going to obsessive compulsive disorder. And they go, no, I'm obsessive chocolate disorder. I have to have that chocolate, you know. And I kind of laughed about that. And in the back of my mind, I thought, well, they're trying to satiate something with chocolate because that's what it does. Well, we have the substrates of those key components of the chocolate within our weight management system that reaches in and fixes the satiety or the satiation of that. Now, when we look at the entirety of the weight management system, here's the beauty of what we're trying to do. We're trying to let the body realize it has a lot of stored potential energy. It doesn't need to keep going back and filling up all the time. What we're going to try to do is take the body's ability to turn to the stored material and go, hey, when can I start using some of that? When can I start pulling that out and burning that up? And when you burn it up and get it out of there, it works. Now, there's a couple things that come to play here, right? And that's how our system works. So first and foremost, we like to get the body cleaned up with the good nutrition, right? That's a baseline for our management system. We get all this good nutrition in there. Then number two, we're going to come in and start turning on certain centers of the body, and that's where we have our XM line with our XM AM, our XM PM, our XM burn, and those combinations are going to come in and get everything cranked back up in a natural way from the hormonal regulatory phase to start making things work in our favor. In other words, we're not going to be as hungry, and yet we're still going to burn. We're going to burn weight. Because when we burn that stored material, that's natural energy, and so we no longer hungry. So we're burning up what we have been saving for however many weeks, months, or years that we've been storing that excess fat, right? We still have a couple other factors in there to make this management system work so well. Number two, or number three actually in this case, we have a meal replacement that I absolutely love. You know, I love the Prime 90, how it works, when it works, and all the things that it does, how it comes back in. It fills up the body. It gives it 100% of the nutrition the body needs. You can use it as a meal replacement. You can use it as a snack. You can even use it as a reward because it's all good. There's no bad at that at all, right? Then we have our teas that have a great benefit to us. We have two different teas. One is our daily tea that's really designed to kind of get this whole process of satiation to penetrate through into the hormonal levels so that that becomes a normal routine. In other words, we're reconnecting the brain back with the body. So we're getting the messages to flow that says, hey, I'm doing good. Just keep burning that stuff and I'll be great, right? Then number two part of the tea that we have is what we call a premium tea. The premium tea is designed to kind of come in and clean up all of the stuff that's been processed, right? I jokingly refer to it like a fireplace. We burn this log, we get heat, we get energy, we get light, we get smoke, and we get ash. Well, who cleans up the ash? That's what our premium tea comes through. So the term in the body is called proto-ash, and it comes through and it kind of binds all that up and gets it out of our system, right? So I love how this whole whole thing fits and flows together. It has hit everything I've ever wanted in 30 years of bariatric medicine, trying to figure out how I can make a system work. And guess what, Pat? It's 100% natural. There's nothing man-made, synthetically produced into that system. So the body knows what to do with it. And that's what makes that such a unique system. And that's why we get the results we're getting.
No, we're getting phenomenal results, and everybody's just raving about the new burn. It's absolutely great. You know, and one of the things I really liked about Zija is their proactive putting in the stevia, getting away from the sugars, even though we've used a natural good sugar before, but now we got proactive so that we're helping everybody to keep the sugars out of their diet.
Yeah, and here's one of our issues is diabetes, or the diabetes type of issues we deal with, type 1, type 2, and now the new type 3, is that affects, the top 7 or 8 issues of health disease entities in America for sure, but particularly in the world. And so there's some people that were having some issues with that. They were unable to use that aspect because the body already had a problem with it. When we come and use this organic the stevia leaf puree, and we don't have the stem, we don't have all those other issues that some of the other people have with stevia, we have the purified aspect of this. That gets in and actually helps process through the cells in a little bit different fashion. Now, here's the reason for that. I'll keep this real simple. When we have excess sugar, right, we have what are called these little fontanelles that are in each cell that are the glucose receptors. When the body's had too much of it, those things get beat down, and the term is that they implode and they close up. So it's hard to get sugar in, right? But stevia, on the other hand, is one of those nutrients that the body can utilize, and it doesn't have the triggers as the sugar does, so the cells will go ahead and absorb it on into there. And that's what makes this go to that next step and make it even better to get that process through. So it's a phenomenal way. The company is always trying to find the best way to get the product further into our systems with the least amount of resistance. And I love that about the Zija.
Me too. And then the last division, of course, is our skincare line, and we don't spend enough time on it. And I know you and I keep saying, this is really important because it doesn't have all that garbage, the junk that the other ones on the market have, and it's so good for our body.
The basic thing that I explain to my patients when I'm talking about the GNM line is this. I explain to them there's only 4 ways in our body. We breathe, we swallow, we absorb through the skin, or something penetrates the skin. Right? There's only 4 ways out of the body. We breathe, we defecate, we urinate, or we sweat. There's 2 commonalities there. It's the breathing and the skin. It's the only mechanism on the body where the same way in is the same way out. So what happens to us is we get exposed to all these contaminants that are out here in our world, and they get stuck into the skin, and they start causing problems. Well, how do you get them back out? You can rebuild up underneath that. That is one of the great things that our Smart Mix and Super Mix help us do. But at the same time, if you could extrapolate or pull back out of the skin these issues, then you're going to have a lot healthier skin. And that's the difference. That what this naturally does, it goes in and repairs it. I love the oil. I love the eye serum. I love the mask. I love the night repair. I love the anti-aging cream. I love what all these things do, because where is most of the skin exposed to us in the world? The face, the neck, and the hands. Well, guess what we ought to be doing? We ought to be using this line to start pulling that junk back out of us. And when people do that, they go, man, I used to have issues with my hand, my face, and all that's gone. Right, because we're feeding you from the inside with all the good nutrition, and we're pulling out junk from the outside, which is repairing you twice as fast. And I'm going to tell you, there is nothing like the GNM line and all the stuff that I've studied. It is phenomenal in how it rebuilds us, because the stuff we do want to absorb, all the good aspects of what's in the GNM line, that does get absorbed in the skin, and that's what helps us to exfoliate, if you will, or to get the other bad stuff out. So it's a phenomenal line. It really is.
It is. It really is, and it's really good for our older skin.
Oh, yeah. Well, now, you and I are both of the same age, sweetheart, so in our 50s,
I just turned 57, you were about 2. And I'll tell you, I just absolutely love the skincare.
I do.
Well, you know, we are working hard, and just along with all the other distributors in Zija land, because, you know, we really want to take this product around the world. Now, I know you've seen products all over the place. Do you feel this is a product that we can really, you know, dig in and grow with?
Not only do I think it is, I know it is. And I'm in a very unique position where I am in healthcare and interacting with 10,000 different doctors that I teach all around the country, around the world. And here's the thing that I know. We have seen so many companies come and go. Some have good ideas or good thought concepts, but they don't have the management team, they don't have the financial wherewithal to bring that product to bear. We have a company that is uniquely situated that there has never been a company like ours before. We've never had someone that has, you know, the experience of building two companies before to the legacy level, right? We have a product that nobody else ever has had before that has what it does. And here's one of the components I want to kind of talk to our listeners here about. And I want us to look to you this way. If this thing does everything that Pat and I say that it does, and it has a change on you, would it not be wise for you to share that with other people around you? In other words, those that you really do care about and love. And if we could do that, could we not change the dynamics of a household and improve their health by decreasing some of the stressors and the diseases that attack our body? And that answer is yes. Well, if it's good enough for our household, why would it not be good enough for our neighbors? If we'll take that concept and extrapolate that out, we can change communities, we can change countries, yes, we can change the world. Why? Because we're giving the body what it needs. Now that's a pretty bold statement, but you got to understand, the guy who has treated literally thousands and thousands of patients for 30 years, of people from all around the world that I see and treat, and I see what's happening to our bodies, and all of a sudden we have a product line that has the capability, if they'll consume it, to change them and return back on their natural innate ability to repair and heal themselves. Why wouldn't that be a product that we could take around the country? I have never seen one like this that is a product that could be taken worldwide and have a dynamic impact upon people's lives. And yes, I do think it's that. And I do think Zija is probably the only company that could, in fact, ever do that very thing.
And what I really like about it is it's so simple. It's just an organic whole food. We're missing all these nutrients in our food on a daily basis. All Zija's doing is putting those nutrients back into our body, and we're just kind of letting the body fix itself.
Exactly, and they're live. It's a live enzyme. It's a live product. That's what I love about it, is we're putting life back in. I jokingly, the first time I ever talked for Sarah and Homer, we talked about it, I said, you know, it's like you're drinking life in, and Sarah pointed out to me, she goes, Ben, that is one of our taglines, drink life in. I'm going, oh, well, it does, because that's the thing I was seeing. That's what my patients were seeing. They're like, man, it's like I'm alive again. I'm me. I'm back. Yeah, because we're giving the body what it needs. And that's the phenomenal aspect of this line.
Well, awesome. I really, really appreciate you being on the call.
Pat, I appreciate you and all you do for us. You are a phenomenal leader. I just want everybody to know that. And what you do for us out here in the field, thank you. Thank you so very much. We couldn't do it without you, and we appreciate that about you.
Thank you so much, Ben. And, you know, we're going to get on a routine, everybody listening. We are so fortunate, Zija. We have a lot of people in the health field. We have top athletes. So what we're going to be doing on the Wednesday night calls is like a rotation of all these great individuals, and it's just going to be so much fun. Dr. Ben will be back again, and I believe I'm going to have Dr. Ziegler on talking about both human and animals next week. So you have to all your potential customers listening to that call. So I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a great week, and stay tuned to next week. Make sure that all the guests on the line, tomorrow night, one of our top business leaders is going to be doing a call the same time on this line. And it's going to be all about the business. So if you liked what you heard about the product, you really want to listen to him about the business. And we'd love you to join us. So take care, everyone. Name announcement is now enabled. Someone has left the contract.